Hey hooligans! I've been trying to record this video for a week. I've been so busy with the Kickstarter, and I just haven't had time every day. I've been trying to get this video recorded, and I just haven't had time. So here it is. I'm going to try and perform the Laughtifesto, our manifesto about comedy. And my stand-up is pretty rusty, so bear with me. We'll see how this goes. The Laughtifesto. Are we laughing? We should be. Laughter is a moral imperative, a proposition declaring a certain action necessary. Kant argued that not following a moral imperative would be self-defeating and therefore contrary to reason, like trying to improve your mood by reading unmoderated internet comments. You can't spell encourage without enrage. If we accept this definition, laughter may be the only moral imperative that's fun. We all know the world is full of scary things: natural disasters, flesh-eating viruses, fake news, real news, terrorism, both foreign and domestic, clowns. With all those real dangers, it's kind of a miracle anyone makes horror movies. Hey, I got this movie about an alien parasite that melts people's faces. I'm going to stop you right there. You had me at alien parasite. I really need something to take my mind off the fact that the president is implying nuclear holocaust on Twitter. We could accept that fear. We could allow it to drive our decisions, build more walls, buy more locks and guns, stay in the house and avoid human contact. But what's the end game there? We'd be holed up and all alone in our bomb shelters, eating our canned beans and Spam. We'll eke out our embattled existence in the post-apocalyptic hellscape, watching for roving bandits. As we play our 1000th game of solitaire, we'll say to ourselves, I sure am glad I stopped going to parties and doing Jell-O, so stock up on all this canned food. Just think of all those suckers out there at the clubs, laughing it up, not preparing for this apocalypse. Who's got the last laugh now? Even if there is an apocalypse, preparing for one is a lose-lose strategy. Your bunker's got food, water, supplies, you got a deck of cards, you're set, right? Unless you develop a blood clot, or that Spam you're eating gives you cancer. Who forgot to buy the home oncology lab? I hear you can remove a colon tumor with a Bowie knife and a bottle of Jack Daniels, if you print out the right tutorials in advance. The point is, no matter how much you prepare, there's no guarantee it'll save you. In fact, when you consider the odds of each individual danger are so small, the more you prepare, the more time you're actually wasting on threats you'll never personally experience. You'll never face them, you'll never have to deal with them. In the first world, even if we spend all of our time studying survival, we're no less likely to succumb to the leading 5 causes of death: heart attack, cancer, lung disease, household accidents, and stroke. Better to just cover the basics like cell phones, insurance, and fire alarms, and let your neighbors help you if you have some situation that those things don't solve. But will your neighbors help? It's a good question. Do you laugh with them? Laughter brings us together more than anything else we do. More than protesting, mourning, more than patriotism, more than Thanksgiving. Laughing brings us together more than drinking. As the Great Dane and fair comedian Victor Borge said, laughter is the shortest distance between two people. Some people still give you all sorts of reasons not to laugh. I'm not laughing because this is serious work for serious face. Surely Albert Einstein never laughed while he was developing his theory of relativity that changed the world forever, right? No, Einstein was a class clown. You know, the class clown isn't just better at his own job. Because he makes working together easier and more fun, he actually makes the entire team more productive. I'm not laughing because we need real social and political change. Because that's what's really holding us back, right? I mean, robber barons like Carnegie and Rockefeller caused the Great Depression, but the real reason it took us a decade to climb back out of it is because FDR heard too many dick jokes. Damn it, Truman, that's it. I'm not fixing the economy until people stop making fun of my Johnson. Eleanor, fetch my Viagra. And a ruler. Lots of people are using comedy to create real social and political change. Adam Conover addresses lots of real issues on his show, Adam Ruins Everything. Jordan Klepper's show, Jordan Solves Guns, came with a website with information and links to resources to help citizens like you and I deal with the shooting crisis that we're having here in the U.S. Will dick jokes alone create real change? No. But they don't stop Samantha Bee from giving you loads of useful information on Full Frontal to help you get involved in whatever issue is important to you. She's giving you the tip. It's up to you to decide what to do with it. I'm not laughing because I'm angry. Sure, because George Carlin can't relate to that. Dennis Leary, Sam Kinison, Bill Hicks, because Lewis Black can't relate to being angry. I'm not laughing because I'm sad. That's when you most need to laugh. Carl Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." We become the things we practice. So if we practice being afraid by watching local news and TV murder shows, we'll become more afraid. On the other hand, we can also practice being happy and productive by getting outside of ourselves and not being afraid to be silly. Check it out, check it out. As I've gotten older, my eyebrows have gotten wilder and wilder. I look like a freaking Klingon. If actions speak louder than words, then the things we laugh at are one of the best marks of our character. Do we laugh at the homeless or disabled, or do we laugh at greedy politicians and corporate execs who push their agendas at our expense? Of course, laughter isn't always safe. Comedy is a tool, and it can be used to tear down as much as it can be used to build up or to heal. That's why there's nothing evil people hate more than our laughter, except those clowns. Tyrants and terrorists alike hate being laughed at, whether they're in government, private corporations, religious establishments, or loosely organized on the internet. They hate it because they want power and control. Laughing at them tells them that we don't accept their control. It's that same hatred of our laughter that caused the Egyptian government to exile Bassem Youssef for his comedy. He was known as the Egyptian Jon Stewart. He ran a show that's very much like The Daily Show. It also inspired the shooting of cartoonists at Charlie Hebdo. Tyrants often jail political cartoonists, and I'm sure the Inquisition or the Lord's Resistance Army would respond the same way. While the threat of violence is a concern, we can't let evil people dictate how we live. We can't be so afraid of their retribution in the future that we make ourselves miserable today. Giving in, staying inside, banning travel, hoarding spam amounts to appeasing them. So when a terrorist asshat drove through a dozen New Yorkers on Halloween 2017, just last year, the rest of them, dressed up in their costumes, went out, got drunk, and urinated in the subway like they do every year. They're New Yorkers. Throughout 2016, Russian government hackers turned Western civil discord up to 11 in both the United States and in Europe. These deep dump operatives stoked online flame wars and organized several street protests and their own counter-protests. They drove both sides of these debates because they didn't care about either side. Putin wanted us fighting to make us believe that we hate each other more than we do. That lets him claim that Western democracy has failed with, bonus points if he can inject his puppets into other foreign governments. Laughing is the last thing Putin, or for that matter Trump, want us to do. Laughter is a moral imperative because if we stop laughing, the tyrants and terrorists win. We know finding reasons to laugh isn't always easy, and it shouldn't be. Destruction is always easier than creation. Probably no arsonist ever said, "Oh man, that building just refused to light." Building it, on the other hand, took a lot of people, time, and cooperation, and we can be proud of our accomplishment. Just as no one person is responsible for the building, no one of us is the only jester. Laughter gets around because it needs to be shared. Who keeps their jokes to themselves? I mean, what's so funny if you can't tell us? That's just creepy. Moreover, sharing our laughs, even the little ones, is the best thing we can do for each other. After CPR. Perform the CPR first, then tell the joke. It might be one of many, or it might be the laugh that someone needed on a really difficult day. Or it might be the laugh that sparks a revolution. You put your little laugh out onto the road, and there's no knowing where it might be swept off to. So I'm going to stay right here and keep laughing it forward, and I hope you'll join me. Thank you for sharing yourself and for laughing with us.